Hello everyone, I'm in a foul mood. Yes, so many things have gone wrong in the past 3, 4, 5 days. Oh, let me think of the ways. The power went out for one of them. I was preoccupied playing Bloodborne one day. And, let's see. A mother cat gave birth to some stillborn kittens, except for one she refused to take care of, so now we're caring for a newborn kitten that we're having the bottle feed, which is not easy. And of course the PS4 shat itself, and since it's such a precious little come here. Oh, who's a precious little baby? Everything has to be just right for baby. Everything has to be just right for baby, and then it ended up fucking up the audio. The audio on my recording should, in theory, be okay, but maybe it'll just not have any audio today. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I won't even use this recording at all. I don't know. But let's get going. Let's get going, and I've got a headache today. I see fire in my eyes all the time because light from the monitors is just shooting optic blasts right into my retinas. It feels really good. It feels really good. But that's okay. It's alright to have a good time or be blinded by your monitors. Yeah, it's alright. So, we want to get up over here to... Actually, the volume is really kind of shitty for me. I can barely hear anything. Because I installed some new audio monitors because of the PS4. I installed some new audio... Oh, wow, the volume's already all the way up. Ooh, that's bad. That's very bad. Yeah, I can just barely hear it. Oh, well, guess it sucks to be me. Sucks to be me. Anyways, I got some new audio monitors and whatnot. Everything was installed just right. And for some reason, the audio... It seemed like I had them whenever I recorded the last part. So everything should, in theory, have been fine. But no, it's not. There was a guy up there, but I was annoyed enough that I went out and killed him beforehand, before I even started the recording, because I was like, no, fuck that guy, fuck that guy. But, let's take a look down here to this first little mechanism we're going to use. Look at that chest down there. See the little hollow guy down there, covered in this majestic jizz crystals? Yeah, that chest, the only way to get to that chest is to turn the crank and have this thing turn this way, and then you have to fall off of it at just the right time. Amazing. I love getting this chest every single playthrough, because I always die like at least 5 or 6 times. There are a few times where I actually get it the very first try, but usually I end up like clipping the very edge of it, and then I go careening off into oblivion. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. So I'm going to be saving that for later, because fuck that shit. Fuck that fucking shit. And there's nothing up here. No chests, just a mysterious dead hollow. Who did that? Was it me? Yeah, it was me. So let's go over here and turn the crank. Turn the... I guess there's really nothing suggestive about it. But we turn the crank, and the thing goes around and around, and we wind up here. Isn't that adorable? Now, how exactly was this useful in terms of, you know, if you want a book on the other side of the thing, I brought this up last part. I want a book over here. Get Bill down there. Was his name Bill last time? I don't remember. It probably was Bill. I like Bill. Bill. I used to have an imaginary friend named Bill. He was like 3 inches tall. Don't ask about Bill though. That's secret. He is legend. Anyways, I'm going to be using the Black Knight Great Axe today. Actually, that's probably not the... Actually, let's go ahead and show off the moveset real fast. R1... Whoosh, whoosh. R2, jumping attack. All the Black Knight stuff have, especially the R2s, always have this really elaborate, silly moveset. And backstep R1's kind of just what you might expect. And I don't think... Yeah, okay. It does freeze you. Whenever you backstep into an R2, it does freeze you. This is not Bloodborne. You don't get unique little things and whatnot. And rolling... So you see, most of these attacks are pretty slow, but the two-handed R1s, for some reason, really fucking fast. Not like lightning speed or anything, but really fast, all things considered. This makes this weapon kind of overpowered in some circumstances. I like the R1 on the two-handed. Really nice. And of course the the R2 is a launcher that we probably won't be using too much, but I might just try to use it anyways. Dark Souls 1 is especially rife with these, yeah, I know you can see me, you little fuck nut. What the hell's he doing? This, like he gives up and it's like, oh, fun, I'm gonna shit the wall. Fucking wall won't move. No. And he kind of just goes on like that. Anyways, let's get... It's nice to have the rings on so I won't have to deal with this shit. Okay, I guess I should go over some notes, though. But in order to get over to this guy, we're going to have to drop down onto this little thing, take a little bit of damage, then run up and murk this motherfucker. Fucking shiv the fuck out of his fuck face. Fuck, I use the word fuck sometimes. Okay, drop down to adventure. To adventure. Alright, hurry up and use it. Oh my god, his delay is massive. Haha! That's fun. That's fun plowing his ass, just planting him right into the ground. Maybe he'll sprout up and be a little baby summoner. Or maybe he'll sprout up into a skeleton. That's probably how Nito does it. He probably just like plants dead bodies and they grow into a beautiful flowering skeleton. Hey guys, I'm ready for adventure. I love life and death. This thing... Pretty sure this is not a mimic. You know what? I'm just going to risk it from now on. Because I got the mimic last time. Oh yeah, that's right, this fucking thing. Sorcery. Strong magic shield. And considering that it's a sorcery, it's probably just going to be this is Vinheim. Yeah, I know, Vinheim. What was the strong magic shield? Yeah, it is, for God's sakes. At Vinheim, Dragon Skull only magic swordsmen on special orders are allowed to learn the spell, which grants temporary strength to great shields. Fascinating. This doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're using a tank build, which this is made for, why the hell would you even be using magic in the first place? I don't know. I guess a lot of these Souls games, sometimes they incorporate things that really just... They don't have any actual place in the game, but they kind of just include them just because. It's like, whatever, I don't care. I'm bored. Let's just put another menu. I don't know. I'm in a strange mood today. Anyways, let's go over to some notes. We need to turn our crank over here, though. That leads... It's so blinding, you can't even see it from here. But in case you were wondering what the hell this just leads right back out to the area that we just came from. And our friends should not be there. They should still be dead, yeah. See their corpses over there? Yes. Corpses. And this is the opposite side. Okay, and that's the platform that we were looking at, the mysterious hanging door that leads into nothing. Probably just one of those things, like... You know, in Dark Souls 2, there's actually like a whole Lord vessel just kind of floating outside of the map boundaries in that game for no good reason. Kind of like that, probably. Anyways, turn the crank once again, completely non-suggestively. There's probably not going to be much lore things to talk about as far as this area goes. It's a big library with a bunch of assholes in it. That's pretty much it. Hello, asshole. So long, asshole. And I'm pretty sure there's nothing over here, nothing over there. And I'll just go ahead and check anyways. Just to be comprehensive, it's been such a long time since I've had to run through this area, because I always avoid it like the plague. Like me, I always avoid it like me. Nothing over here. Okay, a few things I'll stop for momentarily. A few people said maybe Seath lost his scales from lightning, and he just so happened to survive or something. I don't know. Sure, why not? How did he lose his scales from lightning? Because humans weren't even a thing whenever he was, around. As far as... I don't... Are you saying that they attacked him and then he told them later after he lost it? That seems silly to me. That seems almost like Acme Warner Brothers cartoonish. Like, he's the first dragon they saw and they zapped him with lightning and then he's standing there without any, wool or feathers on or whatever the joke is. And he's like, whoa, hold on, guys. This is crazy. And he told them all about lightning, even though they apparently already knew. I don't know. It seems kind of silly to me. Anyways, let's go down here, and you don't have to kill that guy. You don't. It's not really important. Let's go ahead and... Oh, there it goes. That was weird. It had weird controller input lag. Anyways, you open up the little path here to where Logan can pleasure himself in the room adjacent. This will very slowly pull back the books that... Can people actually still read them? I guess it actually makes it to where you can't read the books behind it. That seems really inconvenient. Oh well, anyways. Why would there be a secret passage? Ooh, secret passage. Why would there be one? Because it leads to Seath. That's pretty much it. This guy's going to continue be firing arrows at us. He's an asshole. Let's see, and we'll go ahead and open this chest. Is this something? I don't remember seeing these little bitty urns anywhere else. The books in here are already disheveled, because Logan is going to show up here later, and it's supposed to be insinuating that he's rummaging through all these books looking for all sorts of arcane secrets. Woo! Amazing. And I guess they didn't want to go through the trouble of having a before and after render, so they just throw them out there. Who cares? And who really does care? Who really does care? Anyways, what does it say? Yeah, thanks a lot, Dickface. Why even? I don't know. Anyways, open this up. Inside is blue Titanite chunk. Oh, this alludes to something later that I can't wait to have to. Oh, I'm going to fucking hate trying to get that fucking slab. Anyways, from the prior episode, some people pointed out these servant men were probably running from below after the other snake men had started up their little funky Cold Medina music. Yeah, probably. This is probably the most rational way of looking at it. And here, finally, we get the stupid key that I'm going to have to go back and use for Logan. Archive Tower Giant Cell Key. Let's look at it. I am such a mood. I'm such a sassy catty bitch today. Archive Tower, guys. Which one? They're almost exactly the same. It's kind of irritating. This is the one for the prison, so yeah. Key to the giant door leading out from the uppermost floor of Archive Tower, which now serves as a prison, which we already knew. The key's design resembles not the key of a prison. Indeed, the tower was not a prison at all, but a trove of precious stones. We've already read that. Is this it? So this is it. Key to the giant cell below the Duke's Archive Tower. The giant cell once imprisoned countless maidens, but is now empty, save for a few key persons. For one key person. They struggle to uphold their sanity as the horde of mistakes writhe at a fearfully close proximity. I don't know, something about that's funny. The complete misfortune of these poor maidens is utterly hilarious to me. Suffer, maidens, yes, I love it. I'm drinking Yoo-Hoo today. Remember, I really miss chocolate soldiers. I actually hate chocolate, except for I can eat Snickers bars or drink Yoo-Hoos or things that really aren't, chocolatey chocolate. But I will go to the store and try to find cookies or something just to make. I usually we'll just make our own cookies because they taste a whole lot better. But sometimes just feeling lazy, and every single fucking thing on the shelves is just chocolate, chocolate chip, chocolatey chocolate cookie with chocolate chunks, M&Ms with chocolate inside of them, and so on. Everything is chocolate. It really drives me absolutely crazy. You fucking chocolate users. You sicken me. Sicken me. Anyways, yeah, the point of this key is just saying that the reason why that cell is so huge is because it used to be absolutely rife with this, naked women as far as the eye could see, and Seath pulled them out and injected them with crystals? I don't know, whatever. He injected them with something. I'm not even meaning that in a sexual way, just he did something to them. He put magic in them, apparently trying to figure out the scales of immortality, and it makes octopus women snake creature things? I don't know, that's what happened. But they probably just had the design laying around. It's where can we put these things? I don't know, just say they were maidens or something, who cares? And that's probably it's probably another fucking Berserk reference. Yeah, I really do get tired of that. I wish Miyazaki would just get off Berserk's dick for a little while, because there's so many things in the game that you think, what is the significance of this? And it turns out, oh, it's just a reference. It's well, why'd you even put it in the game? Sometimes he can make it work, but a lot of the times he's just putting it in there just because. And so it just ends up being there for no good reason. I don't know, it's another one of my complaints. Minor complaints, really. It's not that bad, but, I really wish that he was more imaginative rather than just lifting things out of Berserk after, every single game. And it's the same thing every time, too. Okay, one of these things is a mimic, and I'm pretty sure it's the one over there. But let's just go ahead and risk it on every single one of them. This is, oh yeah, of course, the Chandler's outfit. Let's go ahead and look at this, too. Since I'm such a chatty little bitch. Yes. The Chandler's outfit, it's kind of weird that it's an outfit, because I guess that makes it. It really makes you wonder what they look like under the outfit. Because of this. Helmet of the Chandler. Sorcerers that serve Seath the Scaleless, of course. The 6 eyes, arranged in 2 vertical columns, compensate for Seath's lack of sight. So, the insinuation here is that Seath is actually seeing through them. That seems to be the inference, anyways. You could say that they just see so well, they can read super fast, and they tell him bedtime stories, that thing I did last time. Babble Black and so on. But to me, it seems to suggest that he can actually physically see through them. And he knows what they know, and so on. That they are actually extensions of his will. That's what I roll with. You might... It really doesn't matter either way. You can, say whatever you want to. But to me, that seems a bit more interesting, I guess. They have a protective gear from sorcerers and imbued with magic. We will never use this. How about I use a skirt? It's a sexy skirt. I like that skirt. It's nice. I really do like what's a good example? The painting Guardian sets. If I can find it down here, it's all the way at the bottom. I'm pretty sure, right there. Like this, like that sort of offset. It's not really like a kilt or a dress or anything, but that sort of offset cloth that hangs off one side. I love armor designs that do that. Like in Dark Souls 2, there's a few like the Alva set. I think is probably the best looking overall set in that game. It's just overall. I don't mean like it's my favorite or anything, but in terms of design, I really like that. Any time that an armor design actually does that, drives me nuts. Yes, in the good way, the best way. It drives me nuts. In the most literal way possible. Like the pirates, it drives me nuts. Yes, yes. This is the Mimic, you can tell, because he just got through breathing. Little cheeky bastard. Wonder what happens whenever I do this. Nothing. I was hoping it would launch him. Do it again. Well. I was hoping he'd go flying off into nothing. Well. Oh, wait. I hope that wasn't the very last one. Because I don't think I've ever actually shown myself being eaten by one of these things. Now, there's one later. I'll probably remember it. There's no way I would forget. But this does give us the symbol of avarice. By the way, there are people mowing outside, so if you hear that, that's what that is. I'm not going to edit it out because I've got a headache and I'm a special princess that doesn't need to do any work and so on. And I'm probably not going to have time to do much editing tonight anyways because I've got to go watch the UK game since we don't have TBS. Fucking TBS. Why come they just can't show it on CBS? Anyways. First time I've actually watched it outside the home, that'll probably put a curse on them. I'm sure they get the shit kicked out of them by Wisconsin. Wisconsin is another offensive-heavy team. Notre Dame gave us a lot of problems because they're so heavy on offense. And this is a whole other... This is really degenerating very quickly. Anyway, symbol of avarice. Also an enchanted falchion that no one cares about at all. Ever. No one. And let's take a look at the symbol of avarice. Oh, lordy mercy. Monster... have I read this before? It seems like the first time we encountered a mimic, I actually read this off without actually having the item. Anyways. Monster head resembling a treasure chest. Once an ancient god. It is said that this is the symbol of shame imposed on a long-lost clan exiled for the sin of avarice. Wearing this slightly raises soul absorption and item discovery, but also affects its wearer with the curse of the branded. I can't even remember what that means. I've never even used this because it's fucking stupid looking. And if you know me, I really don't like using things if they're asinine looking most of the time. Although I will wear skimpy looking briefs and stuff just because I'm such a handsome man. Actually, I'm quite hideous in real life. I'm like a monster. Really, I'm like a monster in real life. Anyways, yeah, it's so weird. It's a monster head that this thing used to be an ancient god. I've already discussed this once before. But I guess the idea is that the god was like transformed by its own avarice into looking sort of like this. And the curse made people into treasure chest heads. And it sort of looks now like a treasure chest plus the monster head. Maybe it's just like a guy that had fingers for teeth and had a big long tongue or something. I don't know. I kind of get the impression that this is another one of those things where they wanted the design because they thought, yeah, treasure chest head, yeah! And then they were like, what does it mean, though? And Miyazaki's like, because again, as we've been over, Miyazaki tends to do things like that from time to time. And there's one last treasure chest back here, which you may have missed. Hello, treasure chests. Tan-chan. Crystal Ember, let's take a look at this as well. Oh, don't use it. Crystal Ember, Ember required for weapon ascension. Crystal Ember created by Seath the Scaleless. So Seath made this one. We finally see, it doesn't say how they made it, but Seath actually did make this one. So they weren't things that were just lying around. They are things that are invented via some means that we don't know about. Handled only by the giant god's blacksmiths. In other words, the big dumb guy that we saw earlier. The sans blah 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 blah. Crystal weapons are powerful but brittle and cannot be repaired once broken. No one ever uses this because of reasons I've already been over. Crystal weapons, kind of fucking stupid, completely worthless. Okay, we're done in here finally after like 20 minutes of me standing around. Oh, I love this playthrough. Okay, anyway. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, we have to go back. We have to go back and rescue Logan. This is the reason why I did not sit down at a bonfire. Because now I can at least... And this is the reason why I cheated in. It doesn't take it a huge amount of time, but it is so annoying. And I also tend to get myself lost trying to remember exactly where the exit is. I think... You got it bad, buddy, didn't you? Let's work that shit out, okay? Also, one of my other cats, I think, got hit by a car. We have farm cats. We have cats out the wazoo, so we can't really take them to the vet or anything. Like, if something happens to them, then it just happens to them, because they're almost completely feral animals a lot of the times. So he kind of is just on his own, but we've been trying to give him some food, but he won't eat, so it's kind of unfortunate. I like cats. I don't like seeing bad things happen to them. But it is what it is. We've had countless numbers of animals. I have all sorts of horror stories about all the unfortunate things that have happened to them. Animals dying in my arms and all sorts of horrible, horrible, misfortunate things. But those are stories for not another day, probably not significant for this channel at all. If you want to hear more stories about all the animals that have died tragically in my arms, please send an email to idon'tgiveafuck@gmail.com. Actually, there probably is a real email. I wonder, he probably gets all sorts of weird emails all the time. Why did you even make it then? You had to know what would happen. Anyways, someone asked if I played Lords of the Fallen because I've been talking about the idea of slower combat and whatnot. Lords of the Fallen it's a bad game. It's a bad game, but not because of the combat necessarily. I had a very bad experience with it. I only played like an hour total because it crashed all the time. Like, I'm fairly computer savvy. I tried I knew it was time to stop whenever I was actually trying to create my own user scripts in order to try to ensure that everything was loading at the correct time. And I stopped and said, you know what? This is their fucking job. I should not be doing this. And I decided, you know what? I'm just not going to bother from this point on. But as far as the combat goes with Lord of the Fallen, I kind of like the idea. It was a little bit too slow. Because I'm not saying that combat should be slow so much as I'm trying to have it more realistic in some ways. Like, if you've ever watched, like, real sword-to-sword combat, like, competitions, it gets really fucking fast and intense. I want that shit. Even though, I know it can't be completely realistic, but you get the idea. I want it to be more about grappling and throwing people to the ground and outmaneuvering people and so on. Like, actual parrying and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Lords of the Fallen, Lords of the Fallen, kind of takes it a bit too much of extreme. They were obviously emulating Souls combat without understanding how it works, and as a result, they did make it much slower, but they did not give you any additional options to be able to counter enemies and so on, which made it end up being kind of fucking stupid. Very limited in many other ways. Okay, anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Hello again, Logan.
Hello again.
This is the same thing as last time. What a chance meeting.
Alas, I'm imprisoned once again. I don't suppose
you who?
Get away. The archives. Such a
Just out of reach, yes, he said. The thought offends me so I could simply die. Oh, yes, yes. Please free me so that I can go brown-nose my nose into all these books. So we open this, and now he's free. I'm not even going to guys. I'm going to pick up this shit. And I think that this is another Firekeeper, so I think... Yeah, Firekeeper, so... Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh my god, there's so many things to look at today. I'm probably not even going to get to Seath because of all this shit. Wait, what was it? What was I doing? Oh, the firekeeper stuff. Okay, I think this one might be generic. Each firekeeper is a corporeal manifestation of her bonfire and Java, blah, 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 blah. No. So it is just another generic one. So a firekeeper may be the one from Aderlando, the original one from Aderlando, before our friend the liar showed up. Maybe that used to be her, or maybe it's just someone completely different. And it seems like there is one... I mentioned it way earlier in one of the earlier parts, but it seems like there is one bit of item dialogue. It might have been like part 2 or 3 or something. Or maybe even part 1. Where we found something that seemed to insinuate that maybe... No, it couldn't have been that early. That seemed to insinuate that channelers were actually venturing out beyond Aderlando and were capturing people there and bringing them back to Aderlando at one point. I can't remember what it is, though, off the top of my head. No, that kind of bothers me. Oh well, anyways. What do you got to say about it, you sassy little big hat butthole? Actually... wonder what those... It's probably the Titan, the cap, is probably what those little cords are for. Anyway, sorry, getting distracted by arts.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm saved. That makes twice.
So lazy about that, thank you.
I must be sure to repay you. I will visit the archives. If I discover any new spells, I shall share them with you. Prepare to be impressed by the onward march of sorcery.
Yes, I'm sure that'll go really well. Alright, Logan, anything else?
Don't mind me. Go on ahead. I'll head out soon. I wish to lay down my plans before I visit the archives.
I love how all these NPCs, especially Logan, he always seems to have the most elaborate ones, to explain why they don't stand up and walk out like you do, and, you know, go about their business. Because, you know, obviously FromSoft is not going to script that in. So they're just like, oh, no, I'm fine here inside the cell that I'm deathly afraid of being imprisoned in. Just, you know, go on ahead. Even though if you die and respawn, all these snake men will come back and lock me back up. No, it's fine. It's fine. Just don't worry about me. No, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, anyways. Alright, let's get some more questions as I slowly meander my way back up to where I was in the first place. Thank you so much, FromSoft, for making me backtrack all the way to free Logan. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. A Wild Silas says, I'm going to have to disagree, Plague, about something that I can't remember. While a majority of the deaths in Dark Souls series could be considered the fault of the player, there were plenty of instances that I personally deemed unfair within these series. Hell yes! You better believe it. There are plenty of things, even in this game, especially in this game, I guess in some account, that are definitely unfair. I'm not going to go through and name them all off, because I'm sure that there are plenty of posters from V on here that are going to be like, no, just get good. You know, how everyone from V pretends to be this godlike player that never takes damage from anything and beats everything on a first run within 10 hours. You know, people like that. Anyways, yeah, there's plenty of things that are unfair. I'm not implying that this game is completely fair, because holy shit, it is definitely not fair in some circumstances. So I agree with you. I completely agree. Crazy Insane 500. Plague, what is your opinion on the various effects of weapons? Shouldn't fire damage do more damage to... Yeah, okay. Just to make sure you see this for one last time. I did want to point out the little walls that go around the edges. It is kind of unusual that... You know, this place doesn't have ramparts, which is kind of weird. Maybe they didn't think about it. But there is no area for archers to fire arrows out of, you know, in defense of the fortifications. So it is kind of weird that it has a wall, but at the same time it doesn't have a way to actually defend it, or it's not made for that or something. And that's weird. And there's also no doors on the little pyramid things that are coming out, so you can't actually enter them, so that's kind of pointless. I mean, you're not supposed to really think about these things, but I do. And it kind of just leads off into nowhere, so why the hell? What? I guess it just drops off into it drops off into the mines and stuff that they're getting Titanite out of, I guess. It's not important. Anyways, hey, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is, okay. I wasn't seeing what, right? So long, floating door. I will miss you. This is the last time that we will meet. Hopefully. I better rest at the bonfire before I head out while I'm thinking about that. I do need to make sure that I get that stupid Avelin, though. Oh, fuck. Fuck! That means I'm going to have to sit down at the bonfire either way. Damn it! Oh well, might as well do that. Anyways, what is your opinion on the various effects of weapons? Should fire damage do more damage to beast-like enemies, and should lightning do more damage to conductive armors? How holy weapons are effective against spooky, scary skeletons? I've kind of talked about this before, but I really don't like elemental weapons. In the first place, I really don't like elemental weapons. I think they're lazy. But I especially don't like it whenever they don't do anything except for additional damage versus this. So no, I disagree. As far as they should be doing something like that. This is going to be a pain in the ass. I do think that fire weapons should do something a bit more creative, like, say, if you throw oil on the ground or something and then strike the ground, it'll ignite all the oil, or, you know, if you hit someone with a fire weapon, if they're wearing cloth, it maybe might set them on fire, which may not actually do any additional damage, but might set them up for something else, some other effect that you can cause to them. And maybe if we're going with elemental weapons anyways, if you hit them with like a cold weapon, it might slow their movement, or things like that. Not additional damage. This fucking lazy. Okay, down we go. Should I go ahead? Nah, I'm not gonna bother doing that. There's no point in doing that. But that does set me down here, so I can make a run for this stupid fucking Avelin. This is gonna be such a pain in the ass. I will make one run for the Avelin, and I will fail. I will fail, because it always takes me like a million tries. And then I'll shoot back later, and I'll show you the fucking Avelin after I've got the damn thing. I hate this stupid ass. I don't even use it. It's so fucking stupid. Why did I pick that up? I know better than that. And of course that dumbass Chandler is over there again. Anyways, yeah, about the weapon effects, yes, that's my opinion on it. Little bastard. Little fucking bastard. Oh, you other bastards. God damn. God damn. No, knew it was gonna happen. That's the downside of having slow combat, is that whenever you die, you just fucking die. Anyways, let's see. Aurora, God, what's his name? Aurora Virtanen. What are the Black and Silver Knights? Are they lesser gods? Powerful humans with tiny shards of Gwyn's soul? So on. Black and Silver Knights are just gods. Now, what exactly the gods are, I guess, is a little bit more up for debate. The impression I got, like, all the humans are people with little bitty segments of, you know, the Dark Soul. And gods are kind of the same way. God, I fucking hate these things. Get out of here. Go on. And of course his body blocks me. His corpse blocks me. But the gods, I kind of just take it, they're kind of the same thing as far as I'm concerned. Oh no, I should have gone up. I wasn't even doing this correctly. That was stupid of me. This is one of the reasons why I really don't like this place. I get myself very disoriented in the Duke's archives. Yes, I know you're here as well. I made this run so many times that you think I would remember it. But it has been several months since I've had to do this. And that guy normally would do that. Hello, sweetie. Yes, I know you're here as well. Trying to be a little dick. Miyazaki really loves... Oh my god. Bloodborne is rife with monster closets. But even in this game, there are monster closets all over the place. Not necessarily like true monster closets where there's an indentation of the wall whose only purpose is to be a closet. Let's go ahead and finish this guy off while we're thinking, man. I shot him with an arrow last time. But they are kind of prevalent in this one as well. Come on here, sweetie. Shabams! That was satisfying. I like that. That was fun. Let's do it again sometime. Okay, anyways. Oh, I should have spent my souls, too, whenever I was thinking about this. Oh, well, anyways. Let's turn this back and get this set, and then I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, that's what I think about the Black and Silver Knights. Of course, we don't see any Silver Knights at all in this game. Well, no, I know. They are illusions. We don't actually see any real Silver Knights in this entire game. Which is an unusual thing. Black ones we obviously see. And the black ones... Of course, I've said before, the black ones, their armor was charred by fighting the Witch of Izalith. The Beta Chaos, anyways. And their insides, their bodies were actually destroyed. On the inside, the Witch of Izalith was what made their armor black. And the killing of the First Flame actually ignited the ones that went with Gwyn and destroyed their bodies. So they are effectively just hollow shells moving around now. But as far as, like, whether they are gods, how that works, I don't know. I kind of get the impression that all the lords shared their own souls with other pygmies, just very small amounts. Because otherwise, how would there be a distinction between them? Like, there was this... Actually, there's another one down here that kind of... There's another question. It's not that one. There's quite a few, actually, I've written down. Okay. Rhythm the Dark Magus says, I think that there weren't just the 4 Lord Souls contained within the First Flame, as in the opening cinematic you can see many pygmies rise up out of the darkness who claim their souls. Rather, the Lord Souls are simply the most integral and strong. Like, that could be a distinction between, like, we kill an enemy. We kill that guy up there and he drops a few souls. But whenever we kill, Gwyn or someone, or, Nito, or, Quela, whenever we kill them, then they drop a Lord Soul. So, there kind of can be a distinction that maybe the First Flame, in addition to containing those major aspects, the major souls, that there may have also been very tiny ones that people carry around with them and whatnot. Maybe, you can say that. It could explain some of that. But I wanted to go back to that first question of, if that's the case, if they were just picking up these generic souls, then how come some of them are witches, some of them are gods, and some of them, obviously are humans? And I kind of take it as they are disseminating their own Lord Soul in very tiny, diminutive segments. And that is what is making them gods, or making them witches, and making them humans. Because I don't think it's that they just so happen to have souls, and then, they just decided, I'm a god now, and then they were a god. I think they actually do carry very, very small portions. And it could be that, of course, whenever if a human has another human baby, then they're going to also be human, obviously. So maybe the majority of them actually stemmed from a very few amount that actually had Lord Soul fragments very early on in history or something. And maybe it's been like 1 million years since the First Flame originated. We don't know. We really don't know. Anyways, but that's the general idea with that. With this, once I turn this thing, I'm going to have to turn around, run down here. But if I run straight off, it'll be too soon, and I will fall over to the left side of the chest. If I do it too late, I will fall off to the right side. Or the right side. So you have to time this very, very perfectly. And there's I'm sure in the comments below, there's going to turn out, oh, there's a method plague where you just fart, and then it just shows up in your hands. Whatever it is, I don't know. There could be, I don't know every last thing about the fucking game. But that's okay, too. Alright, let's turn this handle and get myself killed, which I will do. I will definitely die doing this. I will put fucking money on it. Like, I shouldn't, because then I'll just intentionally kill myself. But you get the idea. I have very strong confidence. This is one of those instances of the game being unfair. Trying to get this item, this is unfair. Because I know how to get this item. I know. And to me, whenever you're designing a game, that should be the most important thing. Whether you actually know how to do something versus some sort of mechanical problem in actually achieving it. Obviously, this is kind of a sliding scale, and a gradient in regards to like combat or something, because I know how to beat these enemies, but obviously I can still die to them, and that's still fair, of course. Just knowing is not 100% of the battle, it's half the battle, yes. But that's okay too. Anyways, you get the idea. This particular element is going to be unfair. So let's do this unfair thing. Turn the crank, run my ass down here, stop for briefly 1 moment. Yeah, see, that's way too early. And I'm pretty sure that there's no way to actually survive that fall. Anyways, I will cut right back once I actually have the damn thing. Okay, I made it. I think, should I go back? Nah, I'll just do that. Because I kind of stood here. I just sat here taking a drink for a second before I started talking. That'll probably be weird having like 30 seconds of silence, me just looking around while I take a drink. So I'll just leave it as it is. But once you do roll down, if you land on this side, you also have to contend with this guy firing at you at the same time. Another element of the game being unfair. But, of course, according to V, everything is fair. Everything's fair. Just get good at it. Nothing. There could be a game called Don't Let Someone Shit in Your Mouth. and you just spawn and you're chained down to the ground and a guy is shitting in your mouth. And be like, what? What's the big deal? Anyways. That might have been a little bit exaggerated, don't you think? Anyways, do I need it? Nah, let's get rid of this, what I'm thinking about as well. I dropped a bunch of shit up there, too. A long bow and the, stupid enchanted falchion and other stupid bullshit like that. Anyways, here's this ridiculous thing. There actually were weapons sort of like this in real life. Not gonna go too much into it, but obviously, bows were pretty fucking important at some point in history. Like, before, like, the advent of, pike formations and, shield formations, things like that, things to counter a longbowman, armies were almost nothing except for longbowmen. And, fights would just devolve into whoever fired the biggest hail of arrows first, and the other guy was going to be the winner. And, which resulted in some hilarious antics between the English and the French. And anyways, point being, the point being is that shooting bow arrows into someone else's body from very far away to where they can't hurt you was pretty fucking important. So they did come up with a few ridiculous things, sort of like the Avelin. But in terms of this game, the Avelin, and especially in Dark Souls 2, became sort of a problem. Because firing multiple shots into someone's body from far away, not really conducive to PvP. Anyways, Avelin. Repeating crossbow cherished by the weapon craftsman Eidos. Eidos? Suspect. Its elaborate design makes it closer to a work of art than a weapon. Yeah, fuck you too. Intricate mechanism makes heavy damage possible through triple shot firing of bolts. But in fact, each bolt inflicts less damage. Yeah, sure it does. Anyways, that's how that shit works. I will never use it. Ever! I also forget something to mention. The first little trip to that staircase was the way that you saw it, obviously. Every time after that, once you respawn, you have to go to the other staircase and turn it, because each time that you turn one of the staircases, both of them turn. Which is another baffling library thing, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Now let's see if I can get down here without killing myself. And this guy is also powered up right now. Do I have any? Oh, I do. I do have a great fireball. What if I can kill this asshole like this? I will laugh if I die, and I will laugh if I succeed. Ha! Ha! I did both. I'm amazing. Oh, it actually... Okay. I keep forgetting how much more damage you do two-handing. Anyways, that asshole's dead. Let's get going. There's a few... I should have spent the time off actually looking at my notes and trying to organize them. Oh my god, your name. Why did you do this? Punquinful. That's good enough. Why are you assuming pygmies had no sentience before Plague? Obviously talking about, before the, all the shit went down during the First Flame and whatnot. I wouldn't really say that I'm assuming that they didn't, so much as there is no evidence whatsoever to suggest that they did. You can say that maybe they did. Really? I fucking hate these guys. That one's not that bad. But you notice they had, like, a really, really fast animation. And, especially with these guys, they have one attack where they use their shield on you. And they just shield bash you really fast. It has, like, 2 frames of animation. It's ridiculous. That shit is unfair. That's another example of it being unfair. Where they're just doing it just because, hey, they gotta take damage sometimes. Fuck them. Fuck these guys. And that's what they do. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need to go back down here. I need to level up, too, while I'm thinking about it. I haven't bothered actually, using these souls. Okay, anyways, yeah, in regards to them being sentient or not, maybe they had a little bit, but I don't get that impression, because, remember, the whole idea with souls in this game... I might actually have to stop for a moment and actually talk about this. The whole idea with souls in this game, let's go ahead and level up, is, should I go ahead and... How much do... Oh, wow, I keep forgetting how much, that actually uses up. Almost to where I need to be, too. Okay, anyway, so let's just finish off Endurance. Endurance is pretty important because it also is going to help you wear heavier armors at the same time. But I'll stop for a moment to discuss this. the whole idea with souls is that they are souls. You know, what is the distinction between something that doesn't have a soul versus something that does? And what is a soul? You know, if something has... If a human being does not have a soul, and this is kind of the whole point of having the concept of hollowing in the first place, then they're just a dumb, mindless pygmy. You know, they're a hollow. That's why they're called hollows. There's nothing inside of them. They don't have a soul anymore. It has been slowly lost over time. So while the dark soul intrinsically is keeping their body alive, so to speak, unlive, undead, they don't have a soul to make any use of it. So a soul is basically you. Like me, I'm so colorful and irritating and perverted and creepy. I'm all these things because of my soul, you know, as far as the game conventions go. That is me. So whenever something doesn't have one, they aren't anything. And so whenever you're saying, were they sentient, that seems to imply that they had a soul before they had a soul. And since nothing had souls before the first flame, because that's what the first flame is, it is disparity, it is life, it is death, and so on, then, yeah, I don't see any evidence whatsoever to suggest that they did. Other than seeing a plot hole and deciding, well, maybe if we say that they had sentience, or sapience, whatever you want to call it, then maybe that would explain away this plot hole. And that would be the only reason why you would even use that. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and open this shit. Oh, I hate the caves. I hate the Duke's Archives, I hate the caves. Not quite as much as the Duke's Archives itself. Because the Duke's Archives just takes forever to get through. Absolutely forever. And this guy was guarding this dumb chest, which is going to have something... I pray I have enough of these things. Oh, 20 might be enough. Because I am going to have to show it to you. I will... Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Thank you, past me. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I need to show this off eventually. Remind me about this, guys. But I went ahead and cheated this in. This is the other Black Eye Orb. This was cut content. This will... I thought about it whenever I was doing the Priscilla thing, but I thought, what would that really accomplish? Because there's nothing to show. But I guess I'll do it anyways, eventually. Just to show it off. But you can use this to actually invade Shiva. You can. Seriously, you can. You might think that, oh, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, it actually does do anything. You just have to know how to use it. Anyways, remind me to do that. But oh, I didn't even do it! I didn't even equip them. Oh, fucking me. Me! Prism Stones. Alright. Let's look at some other comments from some other assholes that don't like anything that I have to say about anything. Let's see. I've already answered. I skipped around so much that now I've disorganized myself. Most integral and strong. Okay, BL Tonti. I don't know. It's just me. Where I'm just like that. I need to have a name that actually, even if it's something stupid like Plague of Gripes, you know, I need to have something that you actually look at it and go, oh yes, of course, that's a name. Rather than, you know, like the people that have 1200 numbers after that. I don't know, it just drives me nuts. Not like Pat nuts, where I can't take it, you know, how Pat gets. But more, oh, that's kind of bothersome. Kind of, yeah. I'm kind of more like that. That's more how I get bothered. All hot and bothered about it. Anyways, into the fog. Why do they even have a fog gate there? What's the point of that? Anyway, oh, by the way, sorry, I should mention this. Bunch of shitty cogs lying around. I guess this is where they kept all the shitty cogs that have fallen into disrepair. Nothing much to say about this, but I guess at some point, there is one little thing that you can read into this. Since they are rusted and worn down, either these are replacement parts that have been here but never used, or at some point they actually began physically disassembling all of the library components. And there's more books up here, too, which kind of seems to maybe suggest that. Maybe. Or maybe not. But that is kind of interesting that Seath would actually tell his channelers, fuck it. We're going crazy. We're doing crazy shit. You wouldn't believe. And the channelers just kind of look at one another with all their eyes and are like, oh, okay, I'm pretty much up for anything. Doesn't really bother me that much. Don't really do much of anything with my life. Just kind of do whatever you tell me to. Everything I see is actually you.
It's kind of weird right now because I'm kind of getting double feedback because I'm looking at you and you're kind of looking back at me. It's really odd. Actually, you don't have any eyes, so that's a little bit unusual. Not gonna question it though. Anyways, whatever you have to say is fine.
Anyway, it's sort of like that. What the hell was I talking about? Yeah, it's probably nothing important. Anyways, yeah, that's the thing. There's a golden one over there. That means that he's the good stuff. He's just like, he's frozen pea. We cannot abide the presence of frozen pea on our world. We must destroy him. What was I saying? Oh, sorry. I didn't even read your question. Yes, B.L. Tonti. I've heard theories that state Nito is spelled with a D for some reason. I'm going to make fun of you for that. Your name is spelled bad and you spell other things bad. Ha ha, let's all point and laugh at him. I'm not really serious. I'm sorry, B.L. Tonti. I'm not really sorry, though. Might not be the first dead, but rather the first amongst the many dead. Which, of course, the game kind of says... It does say that. He was the first of the dead. Which can... As we all know, especially if you listen to Marcus, he likes bringing this up as well. That either he's the first of the dead, and that... I think I've even brought this up. In that he died first, or he's just the first among the dead, in that he is the chief of the dead. He's the ruler of the dead. So either he was the very first person to die, or he's just a big conglomeration of corpses or something. But you would think that if he was someone that actually picked up a... If he was someone... Someone had to pick up the Lord's soul. Like, he couldn't... It had just been that a bunch of human beings died. And then, after a bunch of human beings died, they all got up into a ball and rolled themselves over and then picked up the Lord's soul. Someone had to pick it up first. So either... And this part is actually interesting about Nito. Is that he had to have been a god, a witch, or a human being before he picked it up, you would think. Although it is possible, I guess, that a just generic pygmy could have picked it up as well. Because the idea with that is that all of Nito's guys are, they're all skeletons, right? Like, he has to get the corpse of a god or so on before he can actually do anything with it. So there doesn't seem to be an implication that they had to have had a soul before he can actually make use of them. But maybe not. It could have been that he was just a normal pygmy like the rest of them, he did the same exact thing. But you can look at it the other way, which would make it, to me, a little bit more interesting. But, there's no evidence for it either way, so just take that for what it is. But that is kind of interesting. It is kind of interesting. But anyways, to me that implies that there were already people living and dying. I don't think so. I personally don't think that people were living and dying before the first flame. I just don't, because of, 20 parts of discussion from this series before that I'm not going to go into. About what a soul is, and how everything works, and what the whole meaning of the game is, and so on. Just thematics and whatnot. I don't think so. I don't think people were living and dying before the first flame existed. That's all. Okay. We gotta kill old piss butt over here, and there's one more. Let's see. I'm going to look at it myself before I even... Okay, there is one more. Alright. I'll talk about that in a second. Alright, let's not slip off into oblivion right here. And there are a couple of items in this area that I don't think they're even really important. It doesn't really matter. Oh, short range. My mistake. I know some people were commenting, oh, he's played Bloodborne, so now he's doing nothing but rolling. Well, you can't really use shields against most of the things in the Duke's Archives in the first place. Really missing a lot, actually. Maybe it's because I'm... Yeah, it's probably not. Okay. Let's just actually just throw a fireball to it. Because I really don't feel like fucking with him right now. Because I'm still in my little mood. You can't break their poise, by the way. Oh, don't do that. Oh, wow! That was a shit ton of damage. Okay, I guess I'll have to actually be more careful next time. Maybe I will attempt to use a shield. Yeah, I'll actually do that. I'll try to show that off, actually. You can't really use a shield against the people in the let's switch off. I'm tired of using this thing, actually. What should I use? But you can't really use a shield against these things very effectively. Let's use I think I've ever... I know some people have been just absolutely aching to show off the falchion. Or was it... I can't remember if there's any real distinction between this and the scimitar. I don't think there is really much of one. Whoop, that's not the right one. Falchion. Because a lot of people like to use this in PvP because it is so fast. Okay, anyways, let's see. Oh, but I did want to show off it. You can't really use shields like against the hollow guys down here. You can, because they're not going to do anything except for basic attacks. As I've gone over before, I think that shield bash does. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, so it is 100%. That is the shield bash that I was talking about, by the way. So it has very, very few frames before. I don't know. Like, that, whenever he even starts it almost, is whenever he hits you. It's pretty damn fast. Anyways, as I've pointed out in the past, I think I've said more of it in the comments, but the problem with shields in these games is that you can just hold up, like, right now, and I regain all my stamina almost before he even attacks again. See? This is a problem. This is bad. This is bad design. This does not need to exist in the way that it is now. So whenever you're saying, well, you just do that, I know. That's the reason why whenever I heard that they were making Beast Souls, I thought, maybe they'll finally fix it. They'll finally get rid of the dumbass Feast or Famine parrying system, incorporate real parrying that is actually more like how blocking works, except it would be, you know, more timed, like you actually have to raise your shield, and more or less the instance that you're being attacked. It wouldn't be as tight as it is with parrying in any of the games. And maybe it'll actually work like that for a change. Maybe they'll actually fix things. But they didn't. They just dropped it entirely. So I do agree with you. You know, it is stupid that you can just hold up the shield and that fixes, like, every problem. That is dumb. That is very dumb. That is bad. We don't need that. But at the same time, I don't think the solution is to just get rid of it entirely. Okay, so let's try to clear out this piss monster. Let's see if I can use the shield on him. Oh, yeah, it kind of does work, but you can't really just space fuck him like this. Come on, sweetie. The AI in these games is always really slow-witted, too. I've been playing a little bit too much Bloodborne, so I'm used to everything like interrupting your attacks and just deciding, you know what? His combo's done. Mine starts now. I'm just really getting used to that. But you could... I should have shown that, damn it. But I think you can kind of get up the binoculars and even see that she's kind of trapped inside of there. You can go back and look at the video. I'm sure that there's a few spaces where you can kind of see that she's stuck in there. But this is not Siegmeyer. This is actually his daughter. Hello, Sieglind.
It was you who rescued me. Why, thank you. I am Sieglind of Katarina. I don't know how I ended up in that crystal. It wasn't terrible in there, but I could hardly move. I must think of some way to repay you.
I like that. It wasn't terrible in there. Like, you know, there's like a couch and stuff in there. It wasn't too bad. There were reruns of DuckTales. You know, it was alright. But I'm pretty glad to be out. Kind of unfortunate about that DuckTales, though, now. You kind of destroyed it. Don't really appreciate it. Anyways, yeah, she's here. And she has an adorable voice. Now, what exactly is she doing here? She's looking for Daddy. Have you seen Daddy?
Oh, have you seen my father? You wouldn't miss him. A suit of armor just like mine.
Yeah, about that.
Thank goodness. I knew he was here somewhere. Well then, now I must find him. Thanks again, truly. Now if we'll just stay put and keep out of trouble.
No can do, daughter dearest. No can do. By the way, I wanted to point out the logic with their helmet. They don't just straight up take it off. You can't see the... Come on, damn it, leaves. You can't see the hinges on this side of her head. It's illustrated in the actual design workbook, but it flips over to one side, which probably wouldn't actually work in real life for various more technical reasons. But yeah, that's the logic of it. You flip it over to one side. I don't see how that helps to take the helmet off and on, but I guess it helps to air the helmet out? I don't know. That was actually a big problem in design of armor and things. Because people, if you've ever worn a full suit of armor, which I never have, but I've done things that are sort of roughly equivalent, if you get my meaning. You get really, really fucking hot inside of it. And it gets really hard to breathe, and it kind of just ruins your stamina. It makes you feel miserable whenever you're inside of this thing. So a lot of armors, whenever they have like these flip-up masks and things, that's there for a reason. You know, they had to do that in order to just breathe. Especially whenever they were fighting. I think they're actually... You might be able to find this on YouTube. but I've seen people demonstrate this before. Like someone in armor fighting someone without armor. You know, obviously someone with armor is going to be invincible for the most part. And, you know, fighting with weapons, that shit goes fast. Like, you will die almost instantly. So this is the reason why armor worked in the first place. But someone in the armor is going to completely exhaust themselves. Like, almost instantly. Do you have anything else to say, buddy?
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Logan.
Fine, thanks again, Shirley. You guys didn't keep up trouble. Okay. Alright, she will show back up later. We're done with her for the time being. And there's a few items I guess I'll go collect. I've gotten where I don't even touch these things. I think it's just like souls or something. It's not anything important. But anyways, as far as the demonstration with shields with these guys, you can see how much stamina it takes off. So it's pretty dangerous. But it's even more dangerous to get one-shotted by these guys. So I guess I'll be using the shield for the time being. And this does have high magic resist, so that might come in handy later as well. Okay, anyways, I was also saying something about... Oh, armor. But yeah, whenever you're fighting armor, you will completely exhaust yourself. Very, very quickly. And you'll just end up staggering around and just doing that. After, like, you know, just a few seconds of actually trying to fight. It just absolutely ruins you. That's the reason why ventilation is very important. And on a somewhat related note, if you've ever thought it would be cool to roll around inside of a tank and, you know, shoot people and blah, blah, blah. No. Because a tank has the same problem. It gets really fucking hot inside of a tank and you will feel miserable. It is a miserable experience. You don't want to be in one, believe me. It is absolutely terrible. Anyways, because it's a big metal coffin that you're in, it doesn't ventilate heat. Any heat that's generated inside of that thing is going to stay in there. It's awful. But that's the balance with armor. You never really see that in video games, of course. But I guess, like, if you were put on this armor, this crystalline armor, then it would have very poor ventilation, and you would exhaust yourself very, very quickly versus someone that was not using any armor at all. And I guess that could be a balance for some video games, depending on how the combat system works. The crystalline shit that we just picked up, you will remember whenever we went up to Seath the first time, there was a guy, just someone, that was there, and he was dressed in this shit. So now this is it. Whether this is actually the same guy or not, time is convoluted, remember, it was the Force. That explains everything. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But let's read his shit. I don't think it really even says much of anything about anything. Yeah, see. Crystallized armor worn by a hollowed knight, who is partially crystallized. The power of the crystal grants high defense. Wow! We're in there deep now, aren't we? Thanks so much, Duke's Archives, for utterly ruining everyone's experience. Utterly ruining it. Anally devastated. Yes. Okay, is there one more thing? Yeah, there's one more question on there. Oh, God. I will point out briefly. Even the trees have been crystallized. I don't know what the logic of this is. Did he breathe on it? Or is it just that the power that is exuding from this place is slowly creeping forward? I don't know. I guess that is the only real logical thing. You wouldn't think that Seath is just flying around, just all over everything that he sees. Surely not. Surely not. But probably the answer is yes. Uh-oh. Ooh, did you guys see that? Frame rate just absolutely shat itself. The game froze for like 2 seconds for me. That was not good. But let's proceed anyways. And in the meantime, I'll read off a question, I guess. These guys give chase behind me. Actually, I'm just gonna have to run it. Because I'm not stopping for this ship. I am not stopping for this ship. This is the way to go. Come down here, these guys are... Oh, they actually fucked off. Usually these guys chase it. Thank you, Ring of Fog. Thank you so much for that. Probably I'm going to give it... Oh, there it goes again. There it goes stuttering again. That is somewhat worrying, but we'll trek right on. I'll probably end this before we get to Seath anyways. You come down here. This is the path that you're going to take. There are a lot of invisible platforms in this area, which we'll see momentarily. But I'm used to just running this path for various reasons. And these guys are very dangerous, so you need to be careful of them. And we will run down here. This is the path that it kind of wants you to take, and there's a big-ass moth down there. Oh, he actually did fuck off, too. That was nice of him. Really, I'm liking this ring in this area. There's a big-ass moth, which we'll go into more in a bit. It kind of reminds you of the moonlight butterfly, doesn't it? Well, that's because it's the same exact thing. There's just more of them down here. More of Seath's creations. What did he create them for? I don't know. To be big and pretty? Probably. He created them so that prior existing concept art could be used in the game. That's probably what they created them for. But you can walk across this. You can tell all the places that you can walk across because all these adorable little snowflakes disappear out of nowhere, and you walk across them. I don't know why this area is like this. Why are there invisible things in the caverns down here? It doesn't make any sense. Is it they're just so fucking magical that random places just become invisible for no good reason? Woo, mystic. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, once you're done, just roll your ass down here. And you can get into fights with these guys. It seems like they do drop... Oh, there it goes, shitting itself again. Oh, that's worrying. I need to get through this area quickly. But they do drop something. It seems like they drop a very low possibility of them dropping slabs. Blue slabs, I think. And it's been such a long time. But let's run across here. More invisible bullshit. Just follow your nose. Follow your nose to these little snowflakes. And there's another golden golem down there that is going to beat my fucking ass in. He's probably... You can very easily slide off the edge of this thing while you're fighting and whatnot. So usually I just run past him. And he might... this might work, or it might backfire hilariously. And you can see that I was slipping off the edge of that while I was actually doing it. And I should have... Ah, shit, he's gonna follow me, isn't he? Maybe I can. Let's just try to kill him. Ah, just barely. See, this is another thing. You get pushed back so far with your shield. It's very... It seems like if you actually prevent yourself from being pushed back, it actually... Whoa, no. It actually consumes way more stamina. Come on, get up, buddy. That's another thing. Whenever you actually take these big hits, it takes you a long time to actually pick yourself back up. Come on, sweetie. And I'm actually more concerned about not getting hit so much as him hitting me hard enough that I will go flying off the edge. And it seems like after you kill these gold ones, you can't really tell he was gold because of the lighting down here. But once you do that, it seems like it makes them go away forever. I think. It's been a long time. Like I said, I usually just run past him. Because there's not really any advantage to actually just getting rid of them. Let's switch back to my halberd briefly. What'd be good for this, actually? Nah, just Black Knight, probably, I guess. Where is it? Where the devil is it? I keep forgetting. It's just further down. Yeah, okay. Because there's a shitload of these little Titanite demons down here. And they might have run off already. But you see, there's another gold one down there as well. Was that with that? Yeah, this one with the item. Okay. I might actually cut off here. Yeah, this would probably be a good place to cut off because there's going to be an adventure right past this. But let's jump down here real fast. Run over here. Try to get some of these guys. I can't even see if I got all of them or not. It looks like some of them. It's not like there's 5 of them. But I think I saw 3, and I think I only got 2 of them. So some of them escaped. But here we are. I am going to show this to you guys. And it is not going to be fun. It is not going to be fun, and I think I just might stop here. Because this is going to be a big pain in the ass. But I need to get over to that item. I don't need it. All it is just a blue slab, I'm pretty sure. But there's only a few of them in the game, and I just want to make sure that I show off how to get to it. I might even be able to probably blind run this over to it. But that's also a bad idea. And this is where the prism stones are going to come in. Oh, God. I'm going to hate doing this so much. But let's stop here for the time being. And then the next episode is going to be me, future me, being enraged at me right now not doing this because now he has to. But fuck that guy, because he's not me yet. So let's wait for that for the time being. And let's get one last question in. Ty Jarman on the subject of the bonfire. Something that... Ty Jarman. I'll say that more distinctly. Something you didn't mention was that the description of the Homeward Bones says that bonfires are fueled by the bones of the undead. I think I have mentioned that actually before. Making my annoying half-pun bonfire actually somewhat valid. I don't even think I wrote that down. I'm not sure what relevance this has, but I guess it's the reason why bonfires didn't exist before the undead curse. I wrote a little note for myself. This is one of those things where I read it and then came up with an idea, then wrote a half-assed note to myself that I might not even understand. But it says, bones probably give flames a body to enter. Oh, yeah. But I guess the logic of actually having a body there is that the first flame has to have a corporeal form to enter. Like, it's a soul, remember? The first flame, even its extension, is like this, it's souls in its, humanity and everything. It's everything in one. That's why Gwyn cast himself into the flame to keep it lit. Because it's Estus. It's the essence of souls and physicality and so on. It's everything that gives life meaning. So I think the logic of it is that the reason why the bones are there is because that's where the flame is coming up out of. Like, it has to have a point of entry, and that's going to be someone's corpse. Which is kind of interesting, because maybe it would make sense for for that to be someone that was undead. Because otherwise, how would the flame sustain itself if it was just like the corpse of a god or a witch, for example, which can't become undead, so they can't really last forever or contain a soul. They just turn to dust. They turn to skeletons, whatever. And Nito takes a hold of them. Whereas an undead can probably still contain souls, but it loses it. So it is kind of interesting that maybe the bones that we see on the bonfires probably were human at some point, and exclusively human. So maybe there weren't bonfires before the undead curse. So yeah, that's pretty good theory. And I think I actually might have mentioned that before in one of the very early episodes, whenever I first got a homeward bone for the very first time. But yeah, that's the idea. The homeward bone is related to the homeward miracle. The homeward miracle, I'm pretty sure I even have it. Actually, let's go ahead and look at it. This will be the last thing that we do today. Homeward, yeah, here it is again. Great miracle cast by advanced clerics, return to the last bonfire, isn't it? Would normally link to one's homeland, only the curse of the undead has distorted its power, redirecting casters to a bonfire. Or perhaps for the undead, this serves as home. And of course, as I've mentioned this before, the idea is that the homeward miracle was usually used by clerics in order to return to their homeland. Where exactly they appeared, I don't know. But for the undead, rather than doing that, they return to their home, which is insinuated to be the fires. They don't have a home of their own anymore. They are simply of the flame and nothing else. Which I guess is supposed to be thematic to them losing their humanity in the process and all their history and whatnot, and simply becoming undead, rather than being persons. They lost their life. I guess that's the idea. The homeward bone. Meanwhile, if I even do I even have any? It seems like I bought a shitload of them at some point. Yeah, okay. Bone fragment reduced to white ash. Really? Really, you think? I mean, it's obviously a bone. It is kind of more interesting that you're carrying around the ashes of a bone rather than a bone itself. But it does seem to suggest that it is a bone fragment that just so happens to be colored white ash or something. I don't know. Return to the last bonfire, blah, blah, blah. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead, which we just said. In rare cases, the strong urge of their previous owners to seek bonfires enchants their bones with a homeward instinct. So I guess that's the logic of that as well, is that the bones are... Maybe the bones that you're actually using for homeward bones are like the bones that you find in bonfires. Like someone picked them up, and you carry them around, and whenever you use them, however exactly you use them, I don't know. Maybe you eat them, like you crush them up, or maybe you stuff them up your butt, or maybe you just throw it in the air and go, whee! And it takes you back. I don't know. But maybe it's that the bone is seeking out it's the same idea. It's seeking out its home. And it is kind of interesting that it does that. It's like it still has a will of its own. So even whenever someone has completely lost not only their souls, and even their body has been reduced to nothing but ash, still there is something of sapience or sentience or something, some intrinsic will inside of them that draws them to the first flame. Which I guess is kind of also interesting that it implies something might be going on in regards to why the pygmies saw fire and were so drawn to it in the first place. Because as we've seen in other item descriptions, undead are supposed to be terrified of fire. Just absolutely terrified of it. But the pygmies themselves, on the other hand, like undead are supposed to be terrified of fires, whereas the pygmies seem to have been attracted to the fire, initially. So, I don't know, maybe that's some other narrative thing where they're saying that those that achieve souls were the ones that actually risked themselves to gain the souls in the first place or something. All sorts of weird little narrative things you can go with it. But that is interesting. Like I said, I believe I've talked about this before, but I just wanted to go over it one more time. Just because. Just because. Sorry, Future Eli. This is gonna suck for you, but too fucking bad. So long, Future Eli, and so long, all of you. I'm going to go back to worrying about bottle-feeding baby kittens and things like that. He's probably hungry right now, actually. Alright, I will see you guys next time. So long. Amazing.